Network Entertainment.
Pag naghahabol kasi ang babae, it's like pathetic or what. But like, why is it pathetic if you're just going for what you want? And like, I don't want to waste my time. Like personally, parang I don't want to go through my life waiting na lang for things to happen. I feel more confident like thinking na at the end of my life, at least tinry ko yung pwede kong magawa kaysa just maghihintay lang at maganda dito. Like, pwede naman. But ako personally, ayoko. I wanna see what I could do because
Right.
it like take control of my Landi destiny. Landistiny. Landistiny. Ang pangit ng Landistiny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's scary. Some people might get turned off by it. But then they're not your people then if they don't see if something as making the first move will turn them off parang
Right.
okay ayoko din nun.
Right. Did you make
Yeah.
the first move on your Joelle?
Yes.
Oh, tell us.
Yes. I mean, well, we did match on Bumble, so first move din talaga naman yung girls.
Hi, this is Mirza Season. Welcome to You Can Do This, a podcast that'll help you achieve your dreams and goals one episode at a time. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Even if I'm no longer the editor of Cosmopolitan Philippines, I still get a lot of DMs that ask me, paano ba lumandi? Mostly from women in their 30s, 40s, and beyond. Unfortunately, I'm out of practice when it comes to that, except, of course, with internal landi with my husband of 14 years. So as soon as I met our guest for today at the recent podcast festival and learn about her claim to fame, I decided to outsource this topic. Schooling us today is someone who's come to be known as the Landi Queen. She always stresses that she's not a psychologist or relationship expert, but judging from the frank, fearless, feminist, yay, and sound dating and relationship tips that she dispenses, I can see why her TikTok account, Joelle OL, has gained over 500,000 followers. That's a lot of kalandian.
A lot of malandi.
I also highly recommend her Paano Kung podcast, where she explores all the possibilities in life, love, and landi. She's a professional voice artist, events host, DJ, experience collector, and storyteller, and is now known for the mantra she admonishes all her dating disciples with. Remember, wag tanga. Please welcome Joelle.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Ang ganda naman ng intro natin. Landi Queen. Sige po, bow down, mga bawalanda. Charot.
Hindi ba? Parang yun na nga yung tawag sa'yo.
Tatanggapin na lang natin. Kasi
Yes.
di ba? We accept what happens.
Claim it.
Yes.
So, tell us the story of how you came to be known as the Landi expert.
Oh my gosh. I think, what led to the whole thing of people just calling me a guru or a Landi expert. It's still a struggle for me to say that. I guess imposter syndrome yung katapat din. But I think what separates what gave me that title was being able to just be vulnerable with the stories and sharing the lessons learned through the years, and that we're all a little messy inside and people
Right.
just don't want to share that, and I think that was where I stepped in and shared that.
And you have revealed so much. Talk about vulnerability, whether bearing her face without a stitch of makeup or her soul.
Yes. Yeah, so I think it was that was helpful. I think people just wanted to look for someone they could like see themselves,
Right.
a part of themselves that they relate to, and the questions, I really try my best to answer those questions with honesty and in a way that that they could hopefully also use in a less destructive way, I guess.
yes.
Also delikado din kasi.
Oo. Right. But you didn't intend for this to happen, right? Because I rewinded all your TikToks from the very start, and I could see how it slowly evolved. Tell us about
That was amazing that you did that, by the
Yes,
way. I don't know
that's
how
why
many
natagalan yung
hours.
ano ko, yung
Yeah.
question.
Well, like a lot of people who started TikTok during the pandemic, it was just for those who had a lot of time, and I was just playing around with it because our boss at the time when I worked in radio said, "Okay, explore TikTok. Let's figure that out. Connect with the Gen Zs."
Oh.
So we're like, okay, let's figure it out. I didn't know exactly what to do, but my goal then was to do something that was easy for me to do if often and if we were gonna explore that. So that's why when you scroll like way back, it's like covers
Yeah,
and
duets,
songs. Oh, kasi mas madali yung gawin at the
challenges.
time. Yeah, and I didn't dance. So I was like, okay, let's sing and do that. And then when I started, and then I shared bits about the radio experience as well.
Yes, I saw
When we would do segues from like one song to another, even during radio, during that time, I really enjoyed making those segues, connecting those stories. And a lot of those songs are always like about love. Yun talaga yung nag-hit all the time. So I was like, ooh, people are loving this. Okay, let's explore that more in radio form, and then more in TikTok form. And then there were just more and more questions that came up in the comments. And then when I posted like a quick like trend video with me and my jowa on how we met on Bumble, I got like this particular comment that was like, oh, sana all merong nakikilala sa Bumble, like ako give up na ako, ganyan.
Oh, yung pala.
Yeah.
yun.
And then I was like, wag kang give up. Here are tips that nobody asked for, but let's go. Because I would help friends
Right.
also in making landi and mga profiles nila and stuff like that. And then from there, I think that's where it all started. The questions got more, there were more questions about landi, whether in the dating apps or in just dating in general. And then it just got deeper and deeper as far as like relationships were concerned. And I was like, oh, I'm actually enjoying this. Sige, push pa natin. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually making sense here.
So it was the Bumble success story.
Ganun siya. Yes.
That drove the rise.
Yes.
Right. So since you say that it was natural for you to talk about it, I learned in one of the interviews on you that you said bata ka pa lang malandi ka na.
Yes.
Please expound.
My first crush, I was 4 years old.
Oh my gosh, ganun kaaga.
At MU kami.
Oh.
Yeah. And I like one of my core memories talaga, as in alam kong nag-holding hands na kaming ganon. At MU kami talaga no. Like there wasn't a term for MU at the time, but he liked me back as well and we liked each other. And I always just had crushes.
Okay.
I was a very shy kid growing up, but I always had crushes. And lagi malagkit din talaga tingin ko, ganon bata pa lang. So I wouldn't necessarily like make moves agad. Like I only started doing that more boldly ng mga college, like late high school, college. Kasi siya bawal sa parents. Masunurin naman akong bata, pero malandi ako inside. Yung gano'n.
Okay.
So it was through that. Kaya ako malandi since bata pa.
When you say malandi inside, ano yung landi source na yan?
Like,
how do you describe those emotions or feelings?
Parang I just never stopped not having crushes. Always. And I wouldn't like straight out say, I like you, hey, let's date. Kasi bawal ka pa naman. I was only allowed to have a boyfriend at like 16. Pero kakausapin ko sila. I would have, I like tatabi kami sa pag may field trip, ganon. Pero hanggang dun lang. May limits, but I would get to know them and I learned how to talk and see how you communicate better, I guess, through the years. Parang
And
ganon.
was it always romantic with boys, or were you also like a very friendly person in general?
I learned to be more friendly eventually, a little bit more ng high school. Kasi, well, grade school, it's the whole like exclusive school for girls thing na you don't really know how to talk to boys yet. And then when I switched schools and then it was a co-ed na, parang, oh, okay, this is how you can be friends with it. And you feel more comfortable also. So, hindi naman lahat ng tao nilandi ko at that point. Hindi naman. Thank you for asking and clarifying. But you also learn from that banter as well.
Right.
So yeah, that was
So
very
banter
helpful.
is a keyword.
Yeah.
Right. If we were to dissect it. Well, I looked up the original meaning of landi in Tagalog, and I don't know kung matutuwa ka dito or not. So, ang kahulugan ng landi sa Tagalog. First definition is mahilig hawakan at laruin ang isang bagay.
Mahilig hawakan
I
at
guess
laruin.
laruan po ang
Opo.
tinutukoy
It can be
doon.
read in many, many ways.
I guess playful, baka playful. And
Yes.
then the second one, landi. Tawag sa babaeng magaslaw, kumilos at may saloobing mapanukso o mapangaki. Agree ka ba dyan?
Yeah. And I think the keyword here is playful and
Yes.
magaslaw. Kasi totoo naman yan.
May mahinhin bang malandi?
Meron, I think
Meron.
like those are like silent killers.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. They don't show you their moves, but
Right.
like, oh, okay, they make things happen.
Kasi
still.
kahit nung Maria Clara days, di ba? May
Yeah.
language of the fan.
Oh, huhulig
or
mo yung panyo, di ba? Like,
or whatever.
there are ways.
But what is your own definition? Is it as simple as translating flirting or being charming? Or what is your own definition?
I think it would be that really, because I think what's great about like being malandi in like there is that negative connotation, malandi mo ang ganyan, but then like you're being playful with many factors in life, like even not necessarily with just other people, but also just not taking things too seriously and seeing things as they unfold,
Right.
and then learning from that as well.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's
Right.
what's special about that as well. Kasi while playing, while experimenting, you get to know yourself a bit more as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
May self-awareness.
Yeah, tsaka tanggal fear of like
okay.
failure, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of fear of failure, because with Landi comes rejection, di ba? So
Yeah.
how do you get over that fear? Paano kung lumandi ka and then,
More crushes. Yun siya.
Next.
Yeah, it's like that's not the only person in the world. There's so many
Right.
other cute people. And okay, I mean, it definitely takes a long time to learn that. Na parang if they don't like
Yeah.
you to kind of not connect, like
Right.
attach your worth towards that. It's hard to do. But when you do and you set yourself free from people's like expectation na porque hindi kanya gusto, ay, oh my God, hindi ako kamahal-mahal. Like, it's not necessarily that. But when you do realize that, the world opens up a bit more possibilities. Yeah.
I love the sparkle in her eyes when she says that. Can you tell us a story of lumandi ka, na-reject ka? Paano? How did you get over it?
I think I felt that the most during the time I'd like to call my peak Landi phase. I was in a relationship. I was always in a relationship for about like 10 years. Like, serial monogamist.
Right.
And for the first time after that relationship, after all those relationships, I was single and I was like, oh my gosh, ito na, lalandi na tayo. And it was really going for whoever I was attracted to na and just figuring things out, not expecting much. I mean, there were a lot of people I really fell for and they were really heartbreaking, and seeing them go out with other people, or I think yun yung pinaka heartbreaking yung them like kind of you allowing yourself to put your worth in their hands and forgetting yourself. I think that was the most heartbreaking thing about like all that rejection that I faced, and forcing myself more nung gusto ko pang pilitin yung mga bagay na ayaw ko.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's something
na
that you
ayaw.
stress. Don't put your worth or
Yeah.
validation in their hands,
Mhm.
but instead,
in yours, like
In
you
your
parang
own.
you explore that, you see if you're a good match. They're just not the right fit. It doesn't mean that they're a terrible person or you're a terrible person. Hindi lang kayo kasha. Parang hindi lang kasha yung
Not a good
outfit
fit.
na yun. Yeah.
give us an example of tumodo landi ka and then rejected. Like, anong ginawa mo?
Ay, oh
Napaglandi.
gosh, a lot
Or
of
sobrang tagal na?
no, it was more on like I guess I don't know if it was just the energy I was giving off, pero I thought that I wanted a relationship at the time,
Oh.
but I would go for people who were unavailable. So I would go great lengths, like travel from QC to Parañaque at 2 a.m. to meet up with a person. I mean, I did have fun, but also I'm sure that there was a underlying expectation that it could turn into something more.
Right.
Didn't. I eventually kind of, ang daming internal processing of like telling myself and reminding myself na nope, this is not gonna get any serious. This is not serious at all. The fact that you're going all the way
Right.
late at night, ew. When you cringe at yourself, like, there's growth.
That's a sign.
Yeah, I'm cringing at myself, ha. Charot, yun lang. But yeah, it was still part of the experience though. I would
Right.
not change that. Even if
Right.
like ang daming nasayang na gas at tulog.
Right. So charge it to experience.
Yes, uh-huh.
Right. So what kind of, first of all, why do you advocate kalandian?
Because when you're free from when you're free to explore that responsibly, obviously, it becomes less scary to try other things in life. It's like, when you flirt with other people and you're okay, and you're okay with dealing with rejection, na you know how to bounce back after crying. It's fine to cry about that, but going back and trying again, I think it has a ripple effect on the other things in your life.
Wow, I love that.
Feel ko connected silang lahat. Yeah.
It's like a
yun.
jump off point for bigger adventures
and if
in
you're
the
not-
world.
Yeah, and if you're not scared of rejection over a guy or a girl or whatever,
Right.
why not go for your other dreams then? Like, what else is there to lose kung nawasak na
Amazing.
yung puso mo, di ba? Parang, you can fix that again.
Galing. And when you say responsibly, what do you mean?
Set boundary, like, know your boundaries and be fierce with those boundaries of yours. Stick to your values as well. Communicate, be honest. Like, don't sacrifice other people's, like, don't hurt other people by doing this as well. Like, obviously, kung there's someone's in another relationship, huwag mo nang
Right.
landiin. Like, don't
Right.
cross those things. And being safe. Protection,
Right.
checking yourself. Yeah, that's
Yes.
very important.
Yeah, I love how you always stress that too. Okay. Tell us about your Landi success stories. Of course, the pinakamalaking success story is the Bumble triumph. But what about other success stories? And you can define success in
Ooh.
whatever way you want.
Ooh, I think the first ever crush, yung first ever MU ko, just kind of solidifying the fact na malandi akong tao. That was a success, realizing that. My first ever boyfriend, I had a lot of like things on my Landi bucket list. And that first relationship, that whole puppy love thing, perfect. I got like the perfect first kiss with the snow and the fireworks and the choir and everything.
May snow na, may fireworks
Yeah,
pa.
fake snow though. Pero kasi
Oh,
sa Eastwood lang eh. Sa mall lang eh. Yung Christmas lang, suds. Ganun.
Whoa.
So that I'd say was like a success, just because, like, I don't know, as a hopeless romantic at
Right,
16,
right,
parang, yeah, sweet 16.
Right.
I also think it was a success also coming into entering this like really long-term relationship and knowing when to leave, even if it took me a while and many attempts. But also, I think that was a success as well, even if we didn't end up together. Also, well, yeah, and my partner now, my jowa now, I really feel the growth and the difference from how I would lande and communicate and relate.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I just
Pakwenta naman.
I just recorded that kanina about
Okay.
like getting out of like unlearning my codependent patterns, just because I was in a relationship for like almost 10 years of different, like, as in from one relationship to the next. I could
Right,
never
right,
be
right.
by myself. I made a promise to myself na in this relationship that I don't lose myself and that I continue to do things for myself para kung hindi man mag-work out, which was something I learned from a long-term relationship, that, you might think it's that person, but, life happens, you'll never know. I'll cry about it, definitely. I'll be hurt, but I will be okay eventually because of everything I've learned, the coping mechanisms, and of course, the people around me, the support system as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you gain like friends from people na nilandi mo pero hindi nagkatuluyan?
Yeah! There are some friends like
Okay.
yung mga tipong like friends with extra benefits, and then sabi ko nung may jowa na ako, I was like, okay, we're back to friends again. Sorry. Kung hindi man mag-work out to, we can bring that back
Hindi
maybe.
naman awkward.
Nina, ako personally na. My thing kasi with awkwardness, like, I acknowledge that it's awkward and then it won't be awkward anymore. Like, oh, this is awkward. okay. It's not so bad. I'm not scared of awkward. Parang ganon.
Right. How about the ego boost that it can give? Tell us
Oh,
about that as a benefit.
I think, well, it's really great. I mean, we shouldn't. Again, it's a danger talaga to fall into the trap of like putting your worth towards people's like approval and them liking you. But it does feel good kasi talaga eh. And there are
Right,
reasons
right.
why there are people who never settle down because they're after just that boost, that ego boost.
Right.
And again, it's not bad as long as you communicate that and you're clear with what you want, you're not hurting anybody. But yeah, it's always great to know that you can communicate and connect with other people. I think that feels great too. Getting to know a new person and getting to know yourself as you get to know this new
Right.
person as well. So yeah, I think that's what's great. Aside from the ego boost na, oh my gosh, you like me. I'm a cool person. You're sticking around. I'm parang, oh, good you see.
Hey, what took you so long? I got lost. Huh? I got lost inside the mind of a genius. What? Can you imagine being at the center of 16 billion Da Vinci paintings through AI? It's like seeing what's inside Da Vinci's mind. The paintings are around you and above you and right through you. Oh, I can't explain it. The whole experience is trippy and wild and seriously amazing. You have to see it for yourself. Check out BGC Immersive Presents Wisdom of Da Vinci, a celebration of art, light, and technology. Get lost inside the mind of a genius. Use the code YouCanDoThis150 to get a special discount when booking your tickets at bgcimmersive.com.
When is it, not a good thing? Like, what if you're so malande that you're leading somebody on? Or how do you become responsible about that? What if
Ooh.
pinaglalaro mo lang pala sila pero nagfo-fall na pala sila for you and then
That
you're
does
just like
happen.
making lande for sport? Paano na yun?
I think that's why it's important to be clear that I'm not looking
Yes.
for anything serious.
Okay.
Like, kasi you can't control naman if aasa sila sa'yo.
Yeah.
But you can't control not saying, oh my gosh, you're the only person while you're
Right,
texting
right,
the
right.
next one you're meeting in the next 3 hours or something. Like, don't do that. But if you genuinely are in a time in your life where you want to get to know other people, say, hey, this is great, I'm getting to know you, but just so we're clear, I'm meeting up with other people pa.
So wag paasa.
Yeah. When I met my boyfriend, parang when we just started dating, I was dating around. I was like, hey, so I have a friend that I'm seeing for like casual,
Oh,
ano lang
talagang
just to be
honest.
clear. Because I was really trying to become a better person by being honest with my ano. So, yeah, hindi naman siya nagalit because like, obviously, nauna naman yung mga ganun. I was like, I'm dating around now, so yeah, just so we're clear. And,
Right.
well, COVID din naman kasi dapat safe tayo sa
Okay.
contact tracing.
Oo nga pala, COVID.
Dapat clear. I'm like, I'm meeting other people, okay? So, just so you know. But also, when I wanted to be more serious now with my boyfriend, nung bago pa kami maging kami, I also told the other people I was seeing na, hey, I'm gonna be serious now with this guy. So, boundaries.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what's important. To be, parang hindi ka magpaasa ng ibang tao.
Right.
Yeah.
And what are some examples of boundaries that you're talking about when you make landi responsibly?
Be clear with what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Because, if you don't have that solid sense of that, when you're caught up in the moment, or if you get too drunk or something, that could happen too, and you just not say no because
Right.
or like you meet up with someone that you met online and you're not feeling that date,
Right.
you're more worried about like not making them feel weird
Yeah.
than just making yourself feel safe as well.
Right.
So you have to make that promise within yourself now, okay, I can leave situations that I'm not comfortable in. Those are really important. And yeah,
So have some safety measures.
yeah. And if it's like a first date also, like dapat your friends should know where you're meeting, parang just as a quick, especially if like you're not like it's the first time in a while, or like you're not pa sure how to go about things as well, wag magpasundo sa bahay, like meet up with them there just to keep
Right.
certain
Because
things.
he's gonna know where you live.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't want that. Maybe not exchange social media just yet. Agad-agad on like the first date. You
Right,
can,
right,
pwede naman, but like pwede ring, like it's an extra layer of security as well. Yeah, and be firm with the boundaries. Yeah, that's always important.
So based on the feedback that you get, or maybe people's comments, how is being malande perceived now ba? Is it a bad thing? Or do you get like hate comments about,
Oh gosh.
ano ba? Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, I still do. There are really more women who I'm happy. Like, I guess over the past 3 years din of creating content, I've had like people commenting na, oh my gosh, because of your content, your podcast, your TikTok, like nakakalandi na ako, may jowa ko. Like
Okay.
during the podcast festival, someone like reached,
Oh
went
my
up to me and
gosh,
was
sa
like,
lecture mo.
narinig ko yung jowa ko, it's a bumble, and I used your tips. I was like,
wow.
nice. Tapos merong isang engaged na rin because of, and like, I mean, obviously that was primarily them. Like those were just tools that they were ready to use. Pero it's still special for me to be like, oh, kind of part of that story.
Right.
So it's nice to know that through, I guess, the age of dating apps na rin, women are less scared to
Right.
kind of put themselves out there. Pero meron pa rin talagang tatawagin ako malande and thinking that's like the worst thing you could ever tell me. But I'm like, yeah, I am though. So why? What are you trying to say? Malandi naman talaga eh. Is this bad? But yes, there still are people like that who will try to like devalue
Or
me.
stigmatize.
Just
Right.
because like, oh, I dated people. Like, bakit
Right.
ikaw? Lalaki kayo? Hindi yun okay. Hindi rin ba kayo
Right.
pwede mag-enjoy? Hindi rin ba kami pwede mag-enjoy?
Tama.
Yeah.
And I love that episode where you were so mad about guys in your college calling Landi girls pabigay. Please reiterate your emotions in that episode.
It was so horrible to hear that. Kasi I think, well, looking back, there were so many things that I wish I said, but obviously I was too scared to stand up for, to say something about it and assert like my beliefs as well. But it's just, I don't know, I just found it really distasteful to like call like even girls, just girls ha, pag lalaki,
Oo nga, double
yan,
standard.
malandiya, daming girls niyan, ganyan, pero ito pabigay kasi, ganyan, kasi
Oh my
may
gosh.
and then like, anong binibigay? Nakakatanggap din naman siya.
Oo.
It's an exchange. It's not like she's
Right.
like not enjoying, and I mean, unless it's a not consent, it's in a situation
Yes.
that's not consensual. But yeah, so I really hated that term when I first heard that, cause like may binibigay din naman kayo. It's a give and take thing.
Yes.
Yeah, double standards. Like,
Please
it's still
continue
there.
to fight against this double
Yeah.
standard.
The tables have turned. The podcasters now want to listen to you.
Tell us your thoughts in the survey for a chance to win a cash prize. Be honest, huh?
Answer the survey on our website, surveypilipinas.org.
And you're automatically part of the raffle. For a chance to win 5,000 pesos in cash,
Make sure to complete the survey for your entry to be qualified.
We're excited to get your feedback. We are listening.
Just go to www.surveypilipinas.org at baka ikaw na ang next winner.
So one, I think would be a great Landi venue
Ooh.
is the Da Vinci, Wisdom of Da Vinci, featuring AI generated artwork and live music at the BGC Immersive. Have you been there?
Oh my gosh, ang ganda-ganda nung experience na yan. If like, you could do it with someone, I think it's a nice little first date thing. Like versus
Yeah.
watching a movie.
Right.
Like it's great, it's watch a movie's fine, like you get close and stuff. But I think if you enter a venue that's like really
Yeah, and it's dark.
yeah, so parang, pwedeng dumikit-dikit ng onte, lakad kayo together. And there's like a lot of time for conversation as you look at the beautiful artwork.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
that works.
45-minute show and it runs until December 2023 at 1 Bonifacio High Street. So, just some features, a fusion of 16 billion AI generated artworks, light music, and trippy light work. So pwedeng feeling close.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, ang ganda dyan. Oh, dikit ka onti. You're like, oh, look at that. Oh.
You'll get lost inside the venue and supposedly in the mind of the genius of Da Vinci. And it's right smack in the middle of creativity, curiosity, and endless possibilities.
Love that. Oh, diba?
Diba? Yan. So get your tickets at bgcimmersive.com. Right away.
Nice memories there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so as I mentioned, I've been getting a lot of DMs about paano lumande, especially in your 30s and 40s. Baka you have some tips for us. How is it different from your 20s, where I assume it's more natural, or hindi ba?
I think what's nice now about like dating in your 30s and 40s, diba kasi before there's like that deadline. I mean, up to now, people would still say that, oh my gosh, like I had this like really ridiculous comment na, oh, in China, we call that leftover women pag late 20s and stuff like that. That's another conversation. But I think that's changing. I'd like to think it's slowly changing, that you can still do it. I mean, there's no deadline to things in life anyway unless you die.
Yes.
And like, it's better to be dating around in your 30s and 40s than being stuck in a relationship that you're not happy in, just because someone told you that you're leftover or whatever.
Right.
Parang enjoyin mo na lang yung buffet. And I can imagine that there are gonna be like certain limitations siguro na kasi if you're looking at like within your age range na baka marami ng mga kinasal or whatever like that. But I guess if you think that way, then that's all you're gonna see. Don't focus on the people who are kasal na and who are playing the same team as you.
Meron pa naman.
Yeah. And I think it's a nice opportunity as well to date outside your type. And just see for what it is. Kasi kung single ka na rin, might as well enjoy and see what's out there. Maybe you meet someone that you didn't think you would consider like, but if you actually like took the time to open your mind, hindi lang parang, oh, sabi ko sa nila, try natin. Tapos hindi ka naman nagbukas ng puso or like isip. Yeah, so open up, and because ano pa ba, you already broke the limitations that everyone has put. So, might as well have
you
fun with it.
You already defied convention.
Yeah.
So, defy it some more.
Yeah, might as well have fun with it, right?
Right.
And I think if no one's ever done, like, tried it, kung I can imagine those who've, like, yung mga NBSB na just never got around to dating ng 20s kasi maybe they had to help their family or they had to work agad-agad, tas walang time, and this is their first time to, like, get out in the open. Allow yourself to be reckless then. But be mindful lang of the fact that, of the dangers of online stuff. Na, you know, don't share pieces of information, photos that you wouldn't want to be leaked. Do due diligence. Like, stalk these people, because people are getting better at catfishing as well. I think that's important. Meet up with these people right away. And yeah, have fun with it as well. And same with the things that we were talking about earlier, na be clear with what you want as well. Right. If you don't know what you want, at least clear ka na hindi mo alam kung anong gusto mo, so you're gonna date around and see. Right. And learn, like, be ready to get hurt.
Oh.
Not in a way na, oh my God, masasaktan ako, so hindi na ako magta-try. More like, I can get hurt because I care, but it doesn't mean I can't stand back up again and rise. Yung ganon. Because I think that's what stops a lot of people from making lande as well. Yung getting hurt part.
The fear of rejection. What are some baby steps that they can take? Like, imagine going from NBSB to, like, suddenly in your 30s and so mature. Parang that's a very big baby step. Right. So any suggestions?
Ooh, well, dating apps would be a safe way to kind of practice talking to different people. You don't necessarily, you don't have to always think that this person's gonna be the one right away. Just focus on getting to know yourself as you get to know different people. I think that's what dating apps, like, help with, yung learning how to converse with different people. So there's that. I think that's a way to kind of dip your toes in. Another way as well that I would recommend is, like, take up a new hobby and just show up. Because I think yun yung siguro pinakamalaking challenge in adulthood when you're not studying anymore and obviously don't want to date
Oo, ano na
within
yung
work.
network mo?
Yeah. So,
Unless obvious.
right? But pwede naman. But
Pwede,
may
pero
risks
sana
din
wag.
yun. Oo. So, it helps to like build connections with people
Right.
when you are in spaces that you're always there, that you frequent.
Right,
So whether it's like a bar or like a club,
sport.
yeah, a sport, a book club even, or any like activity that's maybe
Right.
new then. So, you know, you could learn from other people, you could learn things about yourself, and you connect with people who share that same
Right.
passion or interest in it. And I think that increases as well. Even online platforms as well. Yung mga like Facebook groups or
Oh,
like
okay.
I think it's like
Right,
kung
right,
yung
right.
mga active doon in
Oo.
those conversations as well. If you're not ready face to face just yet, and just
Right.
like
At least there's a topic of conversation na.
yeah, so I think that's a way to kind of like do like baby steps.
Right. And what are some good conversation starters sa
Ooh.
mga ganyan?
I have a whole series of that. Parang umabot na akong part 9 ng mga conversations.
Oh,
On parang
sample naman
things to
dyan.
ask your talking stage. But it's my questions are always like based on curiosity towards the person. And there are thankfully like so many like questions and conversation starters that you could look for online that are a lot deeper. Like, ang mga favorite questions ko are like, what's a compliment that you wished you received more often?
Okay.
Or what was the craziest thing you've ever done for Landi? Sino ka, ano yung role mo sa barkada mo? So you kind of understand
take
the
notes.
people around them. Would you consider yourself like spoiled as a kid?
Okay.
Or like what was like something that you feel is too late?
Right.
Yung mga ganon. Like, questions that are beyond, anong favorite number mo sa electric fan?
Oh my God. Ganun.
Joke kasi yun lagi eh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So tama yung sabi nila na to be interesting, be interested.
Yeah. And like everyone has a special story to tell anyway. So
Right.
kind of just dive into it and don't think of it as like, oh, I have to go through this again. Enjoy going through that. Kasi that's where the fun is also. And you learn to be like, oh, medyo ganito makipag-usap yung tao, hindi ko masyado vibe yung ganito. But we can adjust in a certain way. And I think
Right.
those social skills help as well. Not with just Lande, but in dealing with other people. So I think it's a valuable skill.
Okay. Everybody has something to say.
Yes.
Kung sino man sila.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, what usually gets in the way sa mga Pinay? Mahiyain pa ba sila? Or hindi na ba? Or anong observation mo? Like, among millennials and in their 30s and parang older millennials are now in their 40s or maybe
Yeah,
40s.
yes. I think it's the judgment of other people.
Oh,
That's what I get a
of
lot.
their peers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what stops them a lot. I mean, I get a lot of questions now. Oh, what if I see someone I know? What if I see someone I know sa dating app?
right.
And I'm like, okay. Edi nakita mo siya. If you wanna match, swipe right and be like, hey, good luck sa atin. Or like, just acknowledge it for what it is. It's not different from going to a restaurant or to a party and just looking around. Like, it's a tool. But I think kasi it's them embodying the whole thing na feeling ng mga tao desperate.
Oo.
But are you really? Yun din, na
Right.
parang what are your intentions? Always just going back to what are you looking for anyway.
What is your why?
Yeah, what is your why? Yeah, like
Right.
what are you looking for? Are you really desperate to find love? Otherwise, you die alone and stuff like that. Because if it is, then that's what you're thinking. Then,
Yeah.
but if it's really just to meet different people and to get better at
Right.
flirting, then what's desperate about that?
Right.
If you're just practicing.
you think that's a better goal? Like, what if their why is really, kailangan ko lang maghanap ng asawa dahil biological clock. And then you're upfront about it and then you state your intentions. Di ba matatakot na lahat?
Hindi, matakot yung hindi para sa'yo. Right?
Okay.
Diba? At least parang if you're clear with what you want, hey, I'm looking for a life partner. And if you meet this
pwede
person
yun.
and they're like, I can't do that, then that's not your person.
Okay.
You'd rather that they get scared versus
Right.
tell you that me hits me and then you
Oo.
spend and waste your time,
Right.
over someone na hindi pala yun yung hanap niya. Right?
You'll save time.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I also love that you're an advocate of making the first move.
Yes.
Which I realized from watching your content na some people have an issue with it pa pala in 2023.
Right?
Ano take mo dyan?
I think kasi there's this belief na parang, yun, it comes back to like being desperate. And there's this whole conversation about like, pag naghahabol kasi ang babae, it's like pathetic or what. But like, why is it pathetic if you're just going for what you want? And like, I don't want to waste my time. Like personally, parang I don't want to go through my life waiting na lang for things to happen. I feel more confident like thinking na at the end of my life, at least tinry ko yung pwede kong magawa kaysa just maghihintay lang at mamaganda dito. Like pwede naman, but ako personally ayoko. I wanna see what I could do because
Right.
it like take control of my landistiny. Landistiny. Parang landistiny.
Yes.
Parang ganun. Yeah.
Right.
So there will always be people who say whatever that's on their mind. Pero what do you want to say for yourself? But what if you get to talk to your future self and like have an audit of what you did in your life? Like what would make you sleep at night? Yung parang ganon.
Right.
Ano bang gusto mo talaga?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's scary. Some people might get turned off by it. But then they're not your people then if they don't see if something as making the first move will turn them off, parang
Right.
okay, ayoko din nun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe getting over rejection is better than having regrets.
That's true. Oh yeah. Also, yeah, rejection's
Diba?
also scary. That's probably also another reason why people don't want to put
Yeah.
themselves out there and say, "Hey, I like you." It really is scary naman, especially if you really really like someone. But you get better at accepting it and moving on to the next person. Yeah, it really is
Yeah,
just
the more
practice.
rejection you go through,
Yeah.
the more invincible you are, you think.
Hopefully. But for some kasi it could like tear you down na parang lahat na lang ayaw sa akin.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, but like I watched this TikTok about like what if someone told you that the 27th person you'll meet is your one?
Oo nga.
Will you stop at the 10th? Or aren't you going to just date as much as you can until you reach the 27th to meet that person? Eh paano kung ganun nga? Like, why not? And then see the lessons as well as you go along, diba?
Right. Did you make the first move on your Joelle?
Yes.
Oh, tell us.
Yes. I mean, well, we did match on Bumble, so first move din talaga naman yung girls. Yeah, so we talked and I didn't want to waste my time anymore. So that was like after my whole like peak Landi era, and I was talking to 1 to 2 people na lang at the time versus yung madami talaga. Kasi
Narrowed down na po.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, we're talking here. Eh, ayokong nagbababad sa dating apps talaga. If we're vibing, let's meet up. Pero that was the pandemic, so I was like, okay, let's Zoom call first, see if we vibe, we like each other. Zoom call kami, it was funny. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to keep talking to this person if hindi ko pala siya vibe, so I need to see this person right away. So I said, oh, I'm gonna go to the grocery. Gusto mo ba akong samahan? So that's what I did, errand dates. I think errand dates are really helpful kasi may goal kang ma-achieve. If they don't show up, at least nagawa mo pa rin yung goal mo. And then you get to meet them at a different like circumstance lang din. So we met there and it was pretty great. And then when we were dating na, siguro mga 2 months in, I got the help from alcohol for this. But I was like,
rubbing or
drinking.
inumin? Kasi pandemic.
Inumin na alcohol.
Inumin.
Yeah, so it was one night, I guess liquid courage. I was like, oh, so I googled what it means to be in love, and I don't want to love bomb or anything, but I think I love you already. Yeah.
Yun.
And yeah, he was like, are you sure? Kasi nga I was drunk. So the next day he was like, are you sure you weren't just drunk? I was like, no, I think I do love you. And yeah, let's date.
Yeah.
So tayo na, ganon.
Upfront.
Yeah, all my relationships, ako yung nagsabing some iteration of so tayo na.
And why not?
Yeah.
Kasi when we were young, we were told, you know, the man should really love the woman more.
And
Ganun
like,
talaga yung tinuro.
but they can show that while you're together.
Right.
If they don't, I mean, if like, okay, that's just like the first part, one crucial step, but there's more beyond that that you can see them prove if they also care for you as much or even more. And if they don't, then bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think people are so afraid
I love
of being
that you were
easy.
telling everyone that we can pursue too and be
Yeah.
proactive.
Yeah, but make sure that they give it back also. I think
Yes.
that's what's important. Kasi if you keep giving and giving, tas wala silang
Reciprocal.
nabibigay, yun, no boundaries again.
Right. Great.
Yes.
So, if there's one mantra or mindset, puwera sa wag tanga,
Yes.
that our listeners can take away from our conversation today, what would that be?
Actually, it's so perfect na yung you can do this. Because that's what you think you can't. I can't talk to people. I can't do that. But hindi naman tayo pinanganak na malandi. I mean, I started early, pero I wasn't born like knowing how to do this. You kind of just learn it along the way. So, figure it out along the way. I guess aside from you can do this, like, yes, you can. You can learn along the way and you can get better at it.
Yay. Thank you so much.
for
Oh, I
having
wish we
me.
could go on and on and on.
Yes.
Pero nagsisignal na sila. So, thank you, Joelle. I learned so much.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
I
Okay,
know.
Landi pa ka.
So, Joelle, I almost forgot. Where can our listeners find out more about you and all your tips?
Yeah, so you can find me on TikTok. The parang mga 1 minute to 1 minute to 3 minutes of like all quick Landi tips and relationship tips on TikTok at Joelle Owell. And you can find me at Paano Kung on Spotify for like 27 to 30 minutes naman ng paglalande and chika of all the paano kongs in life. So sa mga overthinkers dyan, kung iniisip nyo if you can do this, let's all figure that out together. I got you. We're here. That's what we're here
Yes.
for.
Thank you. Don't overthink. Go lang ng go.
Yes.
All right. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to You Can Do This. If you want to know more about me, visit mirza.com. That's MYRZA.com. And follow me at Mirza Season on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you like this episode, please don't forget to rate it 5 stars. Hit the follow button on your podcast streaming platforms and hit the notification bell to get alerted every time we release a new episode. Catch you at our next convo, and always remember, you can do this.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.